All right, we are live, and I am waiting for the video to connect over here on YouTube uh, for so that I can grab this link and put it in our group so that our members can conveniently join us on YouTube Live and in the live chat. So I'm just waiting on that video to connect. However, while we're waiting, are you an entrepreneur struggling and spinning your wheels to make your first six figures in business? Then this morning show is just for you. But being in studio for this show, like Teray and Heather and Dr. Tachi and Dr. Toya and Dr. LaFera and Dewana and Debbie is just one of the ways that you can take advantage of the value given by our group. So go to shaycannon.info/group to join us. We come together as a free business mastermind, giving you more value than some paid masterminds. We have three pillars of value that we give. Number one, we come together and build community with events like a virtual happy hour and a movie club night. Number two, we are intentional about collaborating to make each other's businesses better and make money together. Last but not least, number three, we have conversations that are transformational for your business growth, kind of like this morning show, as well as free training. So make sure that you join us. Again, it's free, shaycannon.com. Nope, shaycannon.info/group. All right. Heather, we're going to mute you. Uh, so we're going to get started because we have our link over in the Facebook group, and we are live on in the chat. We got Keith in the chat. Good morning. We got Chantilly in the chat. Good morning. So let's get started officially. Welcome to the Your First Six Figures morning show. We get started with a blog, and this week's blog is Business Growth by Effectively Watching Others. Okay, effectively watching others. And you can find that blog at shaycannon.com/others. Okay. Why did I think that this was important enough to talk about? Number one, I needed a kind of an easy week away from action, marketing, sales, strategies, and conversation, right? But this is still needed. It's mindset. It's mostly a reminder, right? Because a lot of us watch other people, but we don't do it in a way that's effective and that can help us with our business growth. So I want you to stop watching people and having it make you feel bad. I want you to stop watching people and comparing their year 20 to your year 2, okay? And I want you to watch people effectively by following the strategies we're given this week, okay? Yesterday we talked about how being inspired by others work, okay? How being inspired by others. Now, inspiration is what gives you that feeling of I can do it too. Okay, that's what inspiration does. So if inspiration is what you see, then motivation is what gives you the urge to act. Okay, so we're going to talk about motivation today. If you want more on inspiration, go to yesterday's replay. That was part one. Motivation. You look at others who are doing what you are doing as motivation to keep pushing and moving forward. Okay. See, one of the things that makes what you do and looking at other people ineffective is that instead of you moving forward with what you see, it hinders you and stops you or takes you backwards based on your mindset. Right? So I want you to move forward. Seeing others in your industry succeed can be a great source of motivation to continue your own journey, especially when things get tough. Okay. That's when we definitely need motivation. When you notice fellow entrepreneurs doing what it takes to succeed, it can remind you that persistence is what pays off. Use it as a nudge to keep moving forward, knowing that the path you're on is potential for success. Okay. When you see someone mastering the same challenges that you face, it's proof that overcoming those hurdles can be in your future. Remember, every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals. Okay. So you just got to keep going. Motivation is what it takes for you to keep going, for you to keep taking action. All right. So that's motivation. That was the blog. You know, here on the morning show, we go beyond the blog and give you more. So let's go into the show notes. So First of all, if you don't know who I am, I'm your host, Shay Cannon. I'm an award-winning fractional COO to an exclusive clientele of 6- and 7-figure CEOs while living my best life 3 blocks from the beach. We just dodged Hurricane Milton. And so our prayers go out to the U.S., especially the Florida Southeast area. But I use my superpowers to create a foundation of business growth to position online service-based entrepreneurs like you to generate your first 6 figures to fund your desired lifestyle of freedom, even if you don't have a team. All right. So let's get into these motivational strategies. Okay. I got 10 for you. I got 10 motivational strategies. These are actionable strategies to keep that motivation. All right. Number 1, set a motivation milestone goal, right? So many times we only have the big goal, and then we have the things that we do to get to the big goal. But I want you to start looking at the road on the way to the big goal and start setting milestones, okay? So that we can track our progress and we know when to celebrate, okay? Milestones align with what others have achieved too. Like when you see people hit different places that you feel is worthy of celebration on the way to their big goal, that's a idea of what your milestones can be, right? So it could be, yes, I might want to make my first 6 figures, but I can start off with, a fourth of that, right? And then half of that, and then 3/4 of that, and then the goal as my milestones. And now I'm celebrating all along the way, and it's pushing me forward as motivation. Okay. So set a motivation milestone. Okay. Create an accountability group. There's nothing like-minded entrepreneurs, some in a similar field and some without being in your similar field or industry, where you can share your goals, your wins, your challenges. Seeing others move forward can motivate you to take consistent action, okay? One thing about me is I'm an execution girl, right? When you hear me say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to set out about an execution journey. You may not hear from me, right? Until I achieve that journey. You're like, whoa, I remember when she said she was going to do that, and look, she did it, right? But along the way, I have different people that are my accountability group, that are my motivation, that keep me going, cheering me on, that are like-minded, so I can discuss things that are unique to my journey, and some of that is unique to their journey, okay? So accountability, it might be a partner, it might be a group, but you need somebody, okay, that can identify and align with you, because not everybody goes on this journey with us. So our family might not be the answer to that. Our spouses or companions might not be the answer to that. Our children, the people who may spur us on in the way that society usually works, where you have a job, might not be the same people that spur us on in this entrepreneur journey, because it is very different, okay? So accountability partner or group. Number 3, surround yourself with positive influences, okay? This is where you're going to curate your environment, both online and offline, with people and things actively working toward goals, and things that help you visualize the goal, okay? So if your freedom, like me, is to live in certain places, then why don't you put in your environment something that represents that place you want to live in, okay? Again, yesterday we talked about corporate America, and at one time it was very, very popular for especially executives to have motivational words, motivational images in their office, right? So in your work area, your workspace, having something motivating. Okay. Some of us have goals that might be, hey, I want to get a new house, right? Let's get something that represents that new house and put it in front of us. We need something that is a positive influence to keep us going. For some of you, it's your family. Yeah, it ain't never really been my family as the goals to my specific thing, right? It was my family that, is one of my goals to make sure I'm taking care of you well, right? But I will tell y'all, a goal of others will only get you so far. You still need a personal goal that's selfish, that has nothing to do with anybody else but you, because that why is going to keep you going when the why for other people starts to fail you, okay? So make sure you have a personal why that's motivating, as well as a why where you're at service to other people. So have both. Okay, number 4, turn their wins into a challenge, okay? So when we see other people winning, All right. Let that be motivating to us and challenge us. So when you see somebody else winning, say, okay, I see they're doing something. I think they did it in this time frame, right? Let me see if I can do my task where I can challenge myself to kind of follow that path to achieve the same. Okay. So I don't know about you, but I am one of those people that when I used to drive, and I haven't driven in over 5 years, but when I used to drive and I had a GPS, my goal was always to challenge that GPS time of when I was going. I'm going to cut some of that time down, right? So I'm going to use that the path that they're giving me. I'm going to use that as a challenge that I can do better or I can do the same. You know what I'm saying? So use what you see as a challenge to spur you forward in action. All right. Don't use it to weigh yourself down and into inaction. Number 5, keep a motivation journal. Okay, keep a motivation journal. I'll tell you, some of this motivation stuff, I will tell you a great parallel for you to look at it. You know, sometimes we talk about entrepreneurship as dating, right? We jump into Ray's field and we talk about dating. But when it comes to motivation, there's no path as a better example than weight loss. Okay, so some of this stuff I want you to liken to weight loss. When we have weight goals, we don't just, it's not just a number, right? Sometimes it's a certain bikini. Sometimes it's a certain pair of jeans, right? Sometimes it's more energy, okay? Sometimes it's how we feel. So what is it that motivated you to get some of the success that you had in the past? This is where, in the past, I'm sorry. This is where a journal can help you, right? So what did you use as motivation and what actually worked? Let's keep a journal. Record instances when you see that you are actually achieving and what you feel like the motivation that worked is for those achievements. And then what we're doing is at times when we're feeling especially unmotivated, because as Mel Robbins says, motivation can be bullshit. You're never going to feel like doing it, right? You're going to have to find things that generate you doing it. So that at those times you can use your journal, go back and review the things that worked and the achievements that you were able to have. So motivation journal. Number 6, attend industry meetups and webinars, or even just business meetups and webinars. It's nothing like being in the room in the energy of other people who are going through what you're going through, and celebrating others at that time, meeting others, learning new things with others. This is why we love here our TSP events so much, right? That's traffic, sales, and profit with Lamar Tyler, which is how some of us met. So we will go to those live events. It's also why us in this community come together and gather. It's why we have workshops and free trainings and virtual happy hours, a movie club night, right? We come and we meet up and actually be in the energy of each other as motivation. All right. Number 7, track progress in a visible place. Track progress in a visible place. Now, this is where number 1 will help you. If you've already created your milestones, okay, then we can have a visible representation of that milestone and how we're climbing up toward the goal. Okay. I'm going to tell you, motivation doesn't work linear. Okay. So don't have something going like from left to right. Have it going from down to up. Okay. It's something about something going up that is so motivating for us. Okay. So have something that tracks your progress in a visual place and have the milestones going up to the goal. All right. Think about when we have those charities. Back in the day, y'all know we used to have these phone-a-thons, right? We used to call in and pledge money, and then they used to have a big temperature gauge with the goal at the top, and they would show you how they're making it toward the goal, and it was going up. I want you to visualize your goals like that. Go up, okay? Number 8, reward yourself for consistent effort. Now, I want you to do more than just I do bad things to reward myself. I'm always rewarding myself with great food. That's not turning out well with this menopause belly. So we're gonna have to find other things, but it has to be something just for you. Okay, something because you're the one doing the work. So we want to do something that is rewarding to you. Some of y'all be trying to do stuff with you and your kids. Well, that's still of service. Okay, I want y'all to learn how to be self-full, not selfish. Okay, but self-full. And so with you doing the hard work, I want you to think of rewards for you yourself. Okay. That can be purchasing something that helps you to make achieving the goal easier. I tell you, sometimes I reward myself with a advanced version of tech, because I always have a wish list for my business. So anything that can help me move further faster, I love it. Sometimes it may be I have decided that, I just want something that makes me feel pretty, right? So maybe I buy something. Y'all know I love different kind of glasses. I got on some little we're gonna say cheetah print glasses. Y'all can't hardly see, but it matches kind of the cheetah print that's in my shirt. But I love glasses. But recently I do get, creme brulee. I might get the expensive Wagyu steak, but it don't have to be food all the time, Shay. Talking to myself, but food don't let me down. So I need to find other ways to reward myself. But reward yourself, something that makes you feel good, something that makes you happy as a reward to your hard work all along the way for your consistency, okay? Because you can't meet goals without consistency, let me tell you. All right, number 9, focus on daily habits, okay? Daily habits. When it comes to motivation, we can't be motivated only weekly. We can't be motivated only monthly or quarterly. We have to find something that motivates us daily, okay? Daily, because it's crazy, because what people don't realize is what you do every day is what makes up your life, right? What you do every day is what makes up your life. Shawana Kennedy Media, is not in studio this morning, but one of the things that she always says is, what can you do today that your future self will thank you for? Okay? Every day you need to be looking at, what are my habits every day that push me towards my goals? Okay? Also, take a look at what are some of the things you're doing every day that take you further away from the goal, so we can stop doing that. Okay? We need to, I'm just going to tell you, how you spend your days is what's making up the results. So if you're not getting good results, look at how you spend your days, right? If you tend to do more thinking and planning than action in your day, well, that's why you're not moving forward. Thinking and planning is important, but it's not supposed to be take up all of your time. It's supposed to be a precursor to the action that you take. So if you're doing more thinking and planning and brainstorming than you are taking action and being consistent with action, you kind of doing it wrong. Yeah, you're kind of doing it wrong. So we need to figure that out. Number 10, last but not least, focus on priorities. Okay, we're always going to have a lot of things to do, but you're going to have to focus on the priorities. One of the things that is a priority with business is, what are your money-making activities, right? So even if it's just you and you don't have a team, even if you do have a team, there's always going to be a long to-do list. You're always going to be motivated. Well, you're not always going to be motivated, but you're always going to have this list that you have to tick down to get stuff done. But to prioritize the list, you need to know how to prioritize that list. You need to know, what are you holding as the priority, so you can compare everything to that as the North Star of what is important in action. Okay, so in businesses, yes, it is great to have a professional logo. It's great to have a professional website. But first and foremost comes business long. A color in a website don't matter, right? There are plenty of people out here who don't have a logo, who don't have color, but they're making money in their business. There are plenty of people out here with just a payment link and no website. First, we got to get the money in. Okay, we got to get the money in as a priority, or we don't have a business. We have an expensive hobby. So we need to look at our task and our to-do list and say, okay, the priority is what's going to get me directly to the money. As we start hiring teams, we're taking things off of us so that we can have more capacity to get to the money. As we continue to hire, we're hiring people that help us get to the money. They are also doing money-making activities along with us. Okay, so that's number 10. I want you guys to have listened with the ear of, which one do you think is most motivating for you? And tell me what is an obstacle to your motivation? Because let's try to solve your obstacle to motivation, because what we know is motivation really is an inside job, right? I'm an extreme version of that. I'm not very externally motivated. I'm more so motivated by myself, by the things that I like. I'm either going to do it or I'm not going to do it. So I'm not one that does well with things like personal trainers. Um, if I haven't decided to do it, my accountability group can't help me much because I just won't talk to you. If I'm not going to do it, I'm just not going to do it, right? But I want to know, what is your obstacle to being motivated to get the things done that you know you need to get done, right? Some of you may have diagnosis. You might be ADD, ADHD. You might be on a spectrum. Everybody's on a spectrum, okay? But you might be in, something may be clinically going on. But guess what? Even then, there are steps that you can take. Shout out to Hassan. If Hassan is over there doing life greatly, okay, you can do life greatly. All right. So no excuses around here. Hassan is our hero today. Look at Hassan waving. Yes, yes. Okay. So no excuses for nobody around here. So I'm going to go through the 10 actionable strategies for motivation. Think about the one that you think will help you the most, and think about an obstacle you have to being motivated to do what you know you need to do. All right. Number one. Oh, we're going to start with Dr. LaFera, by the way. Number one, set a motivation milestone or motivation milestones based on your goal. Number two, create accountability, either a group or a partner. Number three, surround yourself with positive influences and motivational environments. Number four, turn other people's wins into a challenge for yourself. Number five, keep a motivation journal. Number six, attend industry or other motivating meetups, webinars, and events. Number seven, track progress in a visible place. And don't forget, we want that to go up as we're achieving the goal. Number eight, reward yourself for consistent effort. Number nine, focus on daily habits. And finally, number 10, focus on the priorities. All right. Now, starting with Dr. LaFera, which of these motivational strategies do you think is going to help you be more motivated? And what is an obstacle you have to motivation to be consistent right now?
I guess I guess to create milestones. That one. Create milestones. And so I guess the obstacle with that would be, up till recently, I didn't want to be the example or the person that the people follow, and whatever. I didn't want to be seen as a sick girl or whatever. And so like that in my mind was like a mental block. Until somebody told me, like, you don't have to be the sick girl. You can be the girl that used to be the sick girl. And I'm like, So now that I am there, like all my content points to that. And so now it's just creating the milestones that make me see, like, okay, you're making progress. Cause like now I have the offer is updated to reflect that. So now it's like the milestones, like that I have to create. Cause like I pretty much do like the other stuff that you're talking about. So yeah, I guess that one would be it. Cause I've been working on that like since I got out of the hospital last time.
I think that is a mindset shift, Dr. LaFera, because you're not the sick girl. You're the poster girl for somebody who is sick through no fault of her own, but that's always overcoming it. You see what I'm saying? So that's why that's almost your origin story, right? So if people have a villain origin story, the thing that makes you do what you do is the life that you're living. And so that's why I always told you, hey, you need to let people know what you go through and how you bounce back. Don't just let them see the face of you bounce back. Let them know the trials and the tribulations that you're going through, because otherwise they may see you as somebody not like them. Right. So the more you humanize yourself, the more you share the transparency of what you're going through, the more they identify themselves with you. Now, I'll tell you, that that can be the thing that's in your journal. right? How many, what was the thing that brought you down and what was the thing that brought you back up? You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And we are going to focus on the back up. We
Mm-hmm.
got back up, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so we need to celebrate that. I love to see you live life despite, right?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes what happens is we go down, we come back up, we live life despite, but it no longer feels like a reward. It no longer feel like we have, no, we as humans, we get indoctrinated to stuff and it becomes background noise to us. So you need
Yeah,
to pay attention to where the things that other people are praising you for no longer feels praiseworthy to you. You might be ready for a next step of celebration,
that's true.
step of life.
And yeah, one of the things that hit me yesterday, well, a couple things. So since I've been going through this post therapy stuff with my hand, like I've seen a little boy who had to live with like leukemia, and like I'm like, you know what? I had to do that because I've had this since I was a teenager. I'm like, we're not like other people. We don't see stuff the same way as other people. I take that for granted. And then when I was getting my hand therapy yesterday, this lady that wasn't even functional because of her rheumatoid, like they were talking about her and how she needs somebody to live with her. I'm like, my hands are fine. Like I just got a little bitty rheumatoid nodule. You can't even see. And I'm like, I take that for granted. And, I don't even talk about that stuff because I don't deal with that, but like I did. And I could inspire so many people to see that they don't have to deal with it if I embraced like that part of me. So it took me falling down to get there.
Yeah, that's okay. We all have to fall down. And sometimes that's how we get there. So thank you, Dr. LaFera. All right, Dr. Toya, what are the strategies you feel will work the most to keep you motivated? And what is your biggest obstacle to being motivated for consistent effort towards your goals?
I too am very internally motivated. Extrinsic things don't really move the needle much for me. But being in spaces, where people are gathering that are successful, the energy of that definitely always gives like that adrenaline shot of this is real, like this is a thing, this can happen. So I think that probably would be the biggest one. And the biggest, I guess, barrier, that's not the word you use, I can't remember. Barrier for,
Same thing.
okay, for continuing to be consistent really is like, I just be tired. And sleep always win for me. It'd be like, oh, you could do this thing or you could take a nap. And the nap
Yeah.
always wins.
So what I'll say is what you can do is use sleep as your reward is what you can do. So
I
we're
like
the
that
same.
actually.
Like if you give me a choice to work or go to sleep, I want to go to sleep, right? So how I have to do it is I have to say, okay, Shay, I know you want to go sleep because you just you're the dwarf sleepy. So what we're gonna do is if you get this done and this done and this done, then you can go to sleep. Okay. And you'll get this, you can sleep for this long, or you can go to sleep and you can also do this thing or whatever, right? Or, if you're from the South and you're still you're using food the wrong way, then you can have this big ass meal and then go to sleep. So I say use one of our strategies today and incorporate sleep in it, right? Which one was reward? That was number 8. So make
Yeah.
sleep a reward because it'll work for you because you love to sleep,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So yeah, so just say, because I have to do that, right? I have a hard stop, I have a soft stop, but sometimes I have this area before the soft spot stop where I could end my day, but I know I'm not finished doing everything I need to do. Oh, oh, I'm not, right? But that's a great pocket for a great ass nap, though. It's a great pocket for a nap. So I will reward myself 2 ways, right? I'll say, okay, you do this much, and then take a nap, and then you can take a nap of this long, and then you'll be reinvigorated to come back and do 1 or 2 more things, and then you can be done, right? And so I like naps, and I like to complete things. So I make that work in my favor. So yeah. Dr. Toya said those great pockets for a nap will get me every time. I know. So start rewarding yourself with the nap, right? So just like you see a great pocket for a nap, see a great pocket to get something done before the pocket for the nap, right?
Yeah,
So
I like it.
yeah, so think about it as like a pair of jeans or a nice dress. We usually have two pockets. We don't usually have one pocket, right? We feel crazy when we have one pocket. I have this certain dress I love, but it only has one pocket on the right side, and that shit drives me crazy. Why don't you have a pocket on both sides? So let's have two pockets, not one pocket. A pocket to get something done, and then a pocket to reward with sleep. All right, Dr. Toya. Dr. Tachi, which of the strategies do you feel will work the most to keep you motivated? And what is your biggest obstacle to being motivated for consistent effort toward your goals? Let's see if Dr. Tachi is available. There she goes.
Hello.
Hello.
It's kind of a mashup of two, because in a sense, surrounding yourself with positive people, with people going someplace, for me is coupled with attending events and conferences, etc. So those are things I love to do. So here's the obstacle, which I'm definitely starting to overcome. I'm a professor, so going to conferences and things is not new for me. In fact, you get money to be able to do that from the department. Sometimes it's not enough, but that's not the argument here. So, but the thing is, you're going, it's for you, but it's almost really for them, to give them glory. And you're going to get information that is going to help serve the students. So that's nice, but then it's like, what's in it for me? Because I would always go in there like, okay, whatever I'm doing, this is also an opportunity for my students. And it worked because I've been able to get my students in internships and things that others people haven't. But I'm like, okay, but this is also what you're doing is what the hell I want to do as well. So getting out of that mindset of using these opportunities only as a way to serve others and actually using that information for me. Does that make sense?
It does. It makes a lot of sense to me. So let me tell you how I handle that, right? Because it's crazy, because when I went to TSP events, the thing was I paid my money to go, so it's supposed to be for me, but most of my clients were there, right? So one of the things that I did was I sequestered myself from clients. I don't necessarily want to sit by you if you're gonna be one of the clients that talk about yourself doing the whole thing. How do you think we can, for me, hey, lady, you didn't pay for this. This is not just, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna trickle down to you, but it's not just for you. So I would say one of the things may be, don't sit with the people that are from your institution when you go to these places, because when you sit with the people from your institution, that hive mind of how we're gonna do it for students can easily take over, right? So sit in places where you meet new people. Because new people are not going to necessarily ask you about how you're going to make this work for your students or the things happening at your institution. So that's number one. Number two, in my notebook, when I'm taking notes, I have, you can do the page down the middle. I usually do my page in threes. One is I'm taking notes just as they're being given to me. Then I have a column where I'm taking notes, where I'm looking at the event itself and reverse engineering the event for the times when I want to have an event, right? And then I have a column for how I'm going to apply this. So I have the column for me, and then I have the column for clients, right? And then in the middle, I'm reverse engineering the event itself. So you can have two different notebooks for that. You can have a notebook for the conference to where you got the paper in half, to where how are you going to help the students in the institution, and how are you going to help your own business? Does that make sense, Dr. Tachi? Therefore, you're always, every time you look at your paper, you're reminded you're not just there for them.
Absolutely. And what I've started doing also is I've really stopped going to academic conferences, because I know there's a lot of that. So I'm really more so going to industry conferences now, because all the academic conferences don't serve you. You're there to be a better academic, which is by, default also the students. So I'm like, no, I'm only going to industry conferences now.
Love that even better. Dr. LaFera said, I've started segmenting implementation of events for me like this year. Yeah, because I mean, as an entrepreneur, we have to see things in different ways, right? I'm here to help me in my business. So how I'm always doing it is I'm looking what can help me in my business. I'm looking what I need to bring y'all where you are, right? So I'm looking for where I am and how I can grow, where my clientele is, how they can grow. And hey, this event is helping people grow. So let me, take down notes about this event. So yeah, we can you can think differently, but you have to have something that's a reminder. So what I do is I segment up that page, because every time I look at the page, I'm reminded, hey, you're supposed to be thinking about this one event 3 different ways. Teray said, mine is daily motivation. My obstacle is my health challenges in life. Be lifing. We've arrived at Hassan's audition. Y'all have a great day. So what I'll say is, life be lifing. And so that's why you're in the membership, right? So that we can learn how to master ourselves in time, not master time, because there's no time management. You can't manage time. You can manage yourself in time. So Teray, it's funny because I just did a, y'all might love this. So yesterday, Cheryl asked a question one day, it was either last week or 2 weeks ago, that brought back to the top of mind for me how much time I'm spending on stuff. She asked, how much time do we work, or how much time do we spend on content or something like that, right? And it reminded me that my allocation of time might be off. And so what I did was, and let me share my screen. Yesterday, as a part of me working on my default work week, which y'all are in the membership should know how to do this, but I basically said I want to work 32 hours a week. 10 of those hours are earmarked for client meetings and work. 1 hour is earmarked for discovery calls. Give me a time allocation for the hours I have left in a week, so that 70% is tofu, 10% is mofu, 10% is bofu, and 10% is admin, right? And it broke it down for me. With the time I have left, these are the slots I should have going toward these things. And then I came back and adjusted it. I said, okay, I'm still missing the time that I like sit there and create sales pages and stuff like that. So I said, reallocate it, where tofu is 60, mofu 15, bofu 10, allocation creation is 10, and then administrative is 5. And so this was my final one. And this is what I use to make my updated default week, to create those time slots for productivity and how I'm breaking down my productivity. So I'm going to tell you in particular, Teray, is lean into the trainings and the tools that are inside of your quarterly CEO productivity membership, because that's why I created them. It's going to help you to keep your priorities straight. It's going to help you to make decisions based on your goals, and it's going to help you to create a schedule and a default week based on your goals. So when life is lifing, you still know what's priority, and you can get priorities done even if you don't get everything done. So that was for Teray, who is not on, but we wanted to finish that up for her. All right, let's go to I can't tell who is Heather, are you next?
Yes, I would be,
Okay.
because I'm the only one left.
Okay, cool. See, I got confused because y'all know once this grid moves around, I don't know who went and who didn't
You're
go
like,
in,
oh,
because
who's
I'm
this?
following
Yeah.
the grid. Okay, so Heather, let me give you the full rundown. Which of the strategies do you feel will work the most to keep you motivated? And what is your biggest obstacle to being motivated for consistent effort toward your goals?
So mine is a twofer, kind of like Dr. Tachi's, but a little different. So mine, number one, would be create the milestones. So have the big goal at the top,
Yes.
and then create the milestones, but do it as that visual.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, because I'm not, like, I can, I listen and retain, but not as much as I do. Like, I'm a visual person. I'm more of a visual learner. So I think doing those things, what my challenges are is honestly, I'm devoting a little bit more time to being a reporter now, and that takes up a lot of brain energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so mine is really a matter of preserving energy so that I can work on my business towards later afternoon, early evening.
Yes.
So that's my
So what I'll say, so the answer for you may also be what you learned from the membership, right?
Yep.
So you might need to think of your day differently, in that part of it is for reporting and part of it is for your business. However, in between there needs to be some type of like a physical manifestation of a line, right?
Yes.
So it could be, I don't know, maybe you need to take a dance break in between. Maybe you could do like me and Dr. Toya, take a nap in between. You know what I'm saying? But something needs to be
Yeah.
in between there so you can be reinvigorated for the business part, not tired from being a reporter and now let me try to get something done in my business. There needs to be this line of demarcation, right? Almost like you're living 2 days in one day. So you might need to have a, a cadence of a crescendo for, you starting your day with that great walk, and then you get to do reporting. And now what is the great thing you're going to do before you get to work on your business? You see what I'm saying?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I think that might work for you.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. I will start that today.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Over here on the YouTube side, Keith said he's going to be keeping a journal. Glow said she's up my goals and keep a motivational journal. So she's going to do the journal too. I'm loving the journal idea too, y'all. Chantilly said fatigue and anxiety are motivation blockers. I think motivating habits would be helpful, but I would need more clarity on how they are different from habits that help you reach your goals. Okay. So habits that help you reach your goals are the actual execution steps. Okay. Motivation is what do you need to urge you to actually do the execution steps, right? Because we all have steps that we need to execute to get to the goal, but some of us need urging to take those steps, right? So you've heard me and Dr. Toya say, hey, that nap is a great thing to urge me to take the steps I need to take. So motivation is what's going to urge you to take the steps, and reaching the goal is the steps that it takes to get there. So that's what it is. They work in concert together to help you to achieve the goal. Now, when it comes to fatigue and anxiety as motivation blockers, right? So fatigue, I don't know if you mean clinically fatigue, like this is a diagnosis that you need to deal with, or do you just feel tired all the time? Because if you just feel tired all the time, then you need to make a list of things that give you energy, and you need to start incorporating them in your day, right? This is why I take dance breaks. I don't just take a break, because I have found that if I just stop and sit down, that ain't a progressive break for me. That's not a motivational break for me to get up and do stuff. That's a motivational break for me to go ahead and lay it down, is what it is. It's a precursor to me sitting before I lay down. So taking a break and doing, nothing doesn't help me build energy. So when I need to build energy, I take a break. I might do the dance break. I might take a walk. I'm doing something where I have movement in it that's gonna it's kind of like start momentum for me to continue to move. Okay. Is that Newton? No, or who is the one that said the law, one of the Murphy's law? I don't know. One of them laws is things in motion stay in motion, right?
That's inertia, the law of inertia.
That too. Okay. So if you already feel fatigued, taking a rest may not be the answer for you, Chantilly. You might have to do something that starts motion so that you can stay in motion. Okay. So figure out what that is for you. Sometimes you might have to stop doing what you're doing and do something else, but you're still doing. Okay. One of the things I like to do also is something that is creative. So I might stop my business work, but I'm executing something creative, which is uplifting. I'm generating energy. And after that, I can go back to the doing of my business. Okay. When it comes to anxiety is usually rooted in fear, right? So anxiety could be rooted in lack of self-esteem or self-worth. It gives you anxiety that you're not going to achieve. So you need to figure out what's the cause of your anxiety so you can tackle the cause, not just the feeling. Anxiety is a symptom. It's not actually the problem. So what is the problem that's causing you anxiety? And if you don't have the tools to fix it or to analyze it, that's when we do things like therapy, or go to somebody that their expertise is anxiety. Okay. So that is what I would say would be a great fix and a start for you, Chantilly. Let me see. Do we have any announcements? I think quickly, You know that you can get these show notes 2 different ways. Number one, you could be in the group, shaycannon.info/group. Or you can sign up to get the morning show in your inbox. In the morning, you will get a reminder to hop on YouTube Live. And in the afternoon, you will get an email with 2 links, one to the replay and one to the show notes. Today is Tuesday. Tomorrow is the VIP Clarity Clinic session. So if you got a success kit, tomorrow night is the night we round this out with our bonus session. Thursday is our collab live. It happens for 30 minutes at lunchtime inside of our group, shaycannon.info/group. I will live stream directly into the group, no Zoom. You guys will be in the comments. What you need to come equipped with is, what do you need in a collaboration and what can you give in a collaboration? It needs to be a win-win, all right? Friday, we have a work session. We're going to get shit done. The full session is for the paid membership. And the last half, we invite in the free community, shaycannon.info/group. Get in the free group. All right. So this has been wonderful. Tomorrow, what we're going to talk about is model. We're going to talk about business models, how to look at other people's business models and use them for success for our business growth. Okay. So the studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay safe out there, everybody, weather related and